This video is sponsored by my book. More details to follow. It can be easy to get stressed at times, and believe me, I know what that's like. Between managing 2 channels, going to university, and trying to have a regular life outside of that, plus anything else that just comes up in the middle, I know that it can be easy to find a lot of things on my plate. But I can always rely on the magic of television to set things right. Relieving any tension by taking me back to a time when things were simple, just the good guys taking on the bad guys. With some of these shows back in the day being so good that even the intro will be enough to get you hyped. And you know, I'm willing to bet that a lot of you probably feel this sort of stress too. So you know what? Sit back as we take a look through some of these cartoon intros and take a look at what made them so great. Starting with a show that was always guaranteed to be good watching. I mean, what is there to say about this show that hasn't already been said? Between the stellar animation, the great music, or just how iconic the imagery is, how many of us picture Gotham with the red sky, the Batmobile, an Art Deco marvel, or Batman standing on the rooftop with the lightning behind him? Most of you may know that the cells for the show were drawn on a black background rather than a traditional white, setting off from the jump with the shadows of Gotham before adding in the light. But did you know that this intro is also a reference to the test animation for the series entitled Batman's First Night, where it goes through the same motions as the intro, a set of robbers running amok and Batman interceding to stop them before the police arrive as Batman gets away. The final product being polished and refined to give the intro we know and love today. This intro and this series was so iconic that it created a Batwave that reverberated all the way through the 90s. And it even impacted Now this is right up the fantasy street. The grand music over the gothic visuals as Goliath and his fellow gargoyles arise into a 90s New York to dish out justice through the night. Awesome visuals, awesome music, all that's missing is an awesome narrator. Someone like, he'll do.
1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a world of fear. It was the age of gargoyles. Now here in Manhattan, the spell is broken, and we live again.
How has that not become a meme? I'll put that in the community tab, have a caption contest, go nuts. With a great theme like this, it couldn't help but get you hyped for the intense story and complex themes. Is now a good time to mention this was a Disney show.
We are defenders of the night. We are gargoyles.
It was clear the creators knew the way the tide was turning and followed suit with this masterwork of television. Say friend, have you got a lot of books on your shelf? A lot of unread books on your shelf? A lot of untold stories, if you will? Then why not start with my book, The Land of Untold Stories. Follow Clark Forsyth as he battles through evils and dangers in his quest to end a dreadful curse. Still not convinced? Then how about the first line? William was at another dead end. Still not sure? Then why not pick up a copy anyway? Reading gives you wings after all. For legal purposes, no wings are procured at the reading of this or any other books. The Land of Untold Stories. Don't let this one be an untold story. But not every show knew as quickly, such as Now, I do not want to besmirch too much. This intro was very good. For the 80s. The music is fine, with a sort of retro, inventive sort of vibe, and the visuals give a clear understanding of who's who, odd text balloons notwithstanding. One thing which just majorly detracts is just how slow the pace is. It seems to plod and slowly move from piece to piece with no sense of urgency. Come on Iron Man, we'll get the Mandarin in 8 to 10 business days. It doesn't get you hyped up for action, it makes you fall asleep. Wake me when SpongeBob's on. Overall, it's not a terrible showing, but it is a dull one. Thankfully, Season 1 did well enough to commission a Season 2, and if the creators got the note that this show was dull, they took that note and they ran with it. Now Iron Man is a ripped, mustachioed, mullet-having, metal-working, electric guitar-blaring badass! And when I say electric guitar, I mean electric guitar! It's so manly it gave Chuck Norris's beard a beard! Now you're working in the opposite direction. Rather than falling asleep from boredom, you're about to faint from the awesome! See, we knew Iron Man was cool before Robert Downey Jr. See, sometimes it pays to get a second chance. The 90s were in full swing and heroes were rising high. And there was one hero in particular who could not sit on the sidelines for much longer. With the same creative team as Batman the Animated Series, it's no wonder that this show was a proven goldmine of great television, as the Man of Steel took on Clancy Brown's Lex Luthor. SpongeBob, me boy, we gotta make a kryptonite creamy petty, then Metropolis will be mine. And make no mistake, this intro is great, with the visuals and music working well to convey the origins and character of the Man of Tomorrow. There's only one thing wrong. There's no real je ne sais quoi. None of that X factor that pushes it from A tier to S tier. Make no mistake, it is a good show, but if the skip intro button came up, I'd consider it. Well, let me tell you something, if there was one show which absolutely had X factor, it was This is not just gold standard. This is platinum standard. As the awesome music gives way to the visuals of seeing the team power up and get ready to take on Magneto. This is an adrenaline booster if ever there was one. I actually played this right before a workout and here are the results. For the longest time, I was puzzling over what precisely made this intro the S tier it is. Not just the visuals, not just the sound effects, not even the previously on X-Men, that may as well be included too. It's the music, the impact of the beat as it urgently steers you into the action. The evidence of which being seen in X-Men 97. We're sure it's good, but it just doesn't have that same impact. It seems so quiet and almost whispering the melody. It's gone from, yeah, we're the X-Men to, oh, I hope the X-Men aren't intruding. This show was a cornerstone of the 90s. This and Batman the Animated Series were the pinnacle of television. But I must confess, I was not an X-Men fan. I would instead watch
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
You knew you were in for a good time when this show was on. This plus Batman the Animated Series, for the cereal in hand, best Saturday morning, no question, believe me. As nerdy student, Peter Parker is bitten by the radioactive spider and becomes the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Seeing him taking on Doc Ock, the Lizard, Hydro Man, being Kraven the Hunter's backpack for a second, the music can't help but get one hyped. Even to this day, from the key changes to the electric guitar solo, closing us out as we go into an awesome episode of Spider-Man. Oh no, I hate this episode. This show was so good that this is what I think of when I think Spider-Man. Get out of here, Tom Holland. You can keep Andrew Garfield. Get out of here. I'll keep Tobey Maguire, but this is the pinnacle of the wall crawler. Christopher Daniel Barnes is the Kevin Conroy of Spider-Man. Changed my mind. All of these shows were immaculate, but what do you make of them? Comment down below with your thoughts and what your favourite intros were. But until next time, thank you for watching and be seeing you.